Hello, I'm former State Representative Steve Toth and the Republican nominee for House District 15, and I look forward to seeing you next week at the Republican Convention in San Antonio. This past January, I was coming back from an event when my cell phone went off. It was an elderly woman who said, "Steve, my name is Kathy Young. I am on a fixed income, and I just received your flyer stating that you want to do away with appraisal districts." And she said, "Steve, I hope you do it." She said, "I'm 74 years old. My husband died in March. And because of his job, it was the only way we could put food on the table and still pay our property taxes. Now that he's gone, I'm going to lose my home." And she said, "While I know you can't do anything for me," she said, "I just don't want to see this happen to another elderly couple on a fixed income." And it's kind of a cool story. The people of Montgomery County put a GoFundMe page together for Kathy Young and paid her property tax bill for next year. It's just a sweet story. But the reality is that we can't do that for every single elderly couple in Montgomery County, nor can we do it for every couple across the state of Texas. What we have to do is we have to eliminate appraisal districts. And what we would end up doing is then setting the value, the property tax value, on the purchase price of your home, and it's fixed at the purchase price of your home for as long as you live there. And then what it does, it forces Commissioner's Court to come up with a fair and transparent tax rate so that there's no longer a tax rate and an effective tax rate. Right now, Commissioner's Court gets to say, "Hey, I lowered your taxes 1%. Yeah, but the guys that you appointed to the appraisal district increased the value of my home 10%, which left me an effective tax increase of 9%. Here's the problem. This, in finance, it's called the rule of 72, meaning 8 years times a 9% increase equals 72, which means that for all intents and purposes, your taxes will double. They will go up 100% every 8 years. Your county tax, your hospital district tax, your school tax, all of it, it all goes up 100% every year, every 8 years. Well, let me ask you a question. Over an 8-year period, does your income double? Of course it doesn't. And think about now the ramifications, again, for an elderly couple on a fixed income. Does their income go up? Of course not. They're on a fixed income. We've got to stop this. Let's do away with these appraisal districts. It'll do two things. Number one, it will force county commissioners' courts to zero-based budgeting. Right now, they're on baseline budgeting, which means they take an automatic 9% increase in funding all their departments every year. That's insane. No one runs a business that way. No real business person runs a business that way, and you certainly don't run your house that way. The second thing is that it forces them to set a tax rate so that it's clear and transparent. There's no difference between the effective tax rate and the tax rate. Folks, and here's something kind of interesting too, is that it will save the state of Texas county governments nearly $1 billion. That's right, nearly $1 billion every biennium. This year, we will spend $475 million across the state of Texas. Next year, because it's grown at $25 million a year right now, next year we'll spend $500 million funding appraisal districts across the state of Texas. Can you imagine taking that $500 million and spending it on education? Or how about better yet, can you imagine taking that $500 million and giving it back to well-meaning taxpayers? We are taxed enough already. And here's the brilliance of this, is that it's the first step in kicking the legs out from underneath a very unfair, very unconstitutional property tax system. You don't own your home if the county government can take it away from you, or if the state of Texas can take it away from you. So the best and first thing to do to move towards a consumption tax is to eliminate the property tax by eliminating appraisal districts. And I hope that you'll support me and support two things: adding this to the Republican Party platform and adding it to the list of initiatives for the next legislative session. Let's get this passed. So I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next week in San Antonio. God bless you, and God bless Texas.